Well, hey, Gerald. This here is your cousin, Apollo. Sometimes you call me Cosmo, because that's my last name. But I got a question for you, Gerald. So, I'm wondering about Christmas time. See, it seems like that they celebrate Christmas, Jesus' birth, around this time of year, and we're in winter here, but on our planet we don't. I'm a bit confused by that, especially because, those shepherds, they were like sleeping in the fields. And why would you do that in winter time? So I just don't get it. Can you help me, Gerald? Thank you.
That is a great question about when Jesus was born and why we celebrate his birth in December in America right now. Now, Gerald, did you celebrate Christmas in December when you grew up?
No, on my planet we celebrate in July.
July, did you say?
July. It's an extra day between June and July.
That is strange. Why would they have an extra day between June and July?
I don't know. Why do you guys have leap year?
That's a very relevant question. Okay, so celebrating the summer must have been different, right? Yeah, I'm sure. So,
Okay.
I guess it just depends where on your planet you are. I actually have I have some friends in Australia that they celebrate in December, and it's really warm when they celebrate in December, right?
Well, it's warm in Florida usually at Christmas, isn't
It is, yeah. It's warm in Florida all the time, though, let's be fair. So, no, and that's actually really relevant because when we think about Christmas sometimes, we tend to associate it with December. We think December when we think Christmas, when Jesus was born. Actually, you kids might hear songs about Jesus was born on December 25th. Jesus was born on Christmas Day. But we celebrate Christmas in December. We celebrate Jesus' birth in December really because people decided to replace a winter holiday that wasn't about Jesus with a new holiday that's about Jesus. Jesus was probably not born in December. We don't know when Jesus was born. Some people actually think he was born in the spring. Some of the things about the animals it says would seem to suggest it was probably spring. But we don't know, guys. No matter when, we can celebrate Christmas in July, or we can celebrate it in December, or whenever. Because it doesn't matter when Jesus was born. It's worth celebrating Jesus' birth in December or July or all year, right?
That's right.
Now, I want to encourage you guys in family worship. We're taking a bit of a break from the Ten Commandments because it's Christmas time, of course.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, we got to have our peppermint mochas and for the parents, and decaf maybe for the kids. And we got to talk about Christmas. And you guys can read with your parents in family worship John chapter 1. And I actually want to ask you guys to read John chapter 1 verses 1 through 18. Sometimes these passages are passages that get ignored, forgotten about in Christmas time. We think about the story of Jesus famously being born to Mary and all that stuff about being born around animals, kind of like you're an animal. But this passage is actually, John 1 is about what's called the incarnation. That's another big word. It starts with an I, incarnation, which means when God became man. That's all it really means. It means how God took on a body, has flesh, is born as a man now. Now, any thoughts about this incarnation of Jesus?
Well, just think about that. The same Jesus that made the whole universe was born as a little baby in a place where livestock sleep.
Absolutely. So there's a newer Christmas song that I really like, and it talks about how the same Jesus that made the stars was the Jesus that was directed to as a baby by a star, right? Which is kind of cool, isn't it?
That is cool.
It's an amazing thing about the incarnation. You might know every part of the story of Jesus' birth. You guys might have it really well memorized. But we forget sometimes how really amazing, how incredible the truth is that God became man. Since the incarnation, since God became man, since Jesus was born as a human, Jesus has been 100% God and 100% man.
Fantastic.
Kids can get mixed up by that sometimes. It's hard to understand, right?
Adults can get mixed up.
Adults can get mixed up by that too. You're exactly right, Gerald. Yeah, and so there's not like one part of Jesus that's God and one part of him that's man. Everything of Jesus is fully God and fully man. And he's actually still that way today. Jesus is still a man today, and he's still God today, right?
That's right.
And now Jesus chose, in the story of Jesus being born, Jesus chose to lower himself. He is God, and he's always been God. He's always had so much power, more power than we could ever imagine, stronger than anything ever, right?
That's right.
And he chose to come down to be born as a baby so he could actually one day be raised up, so that one day he could rise from the dead, and so that we can live forever with him. He even lowered himself by, we see his birth wasn't just so that he could live an awesome life, so he could be the God-man. He lowered himself in the Christmas story so that he could die on the cross for us. He lowered himself in his death. Until Jesus, no one could see God, even partly, which is something we forget about. That some people that, if you got really close to where God's special presence is represented, you have to be scared for your life, right? You might have to run really fast, right?
That's right, you're right.
Exactly. So, any other thoughts about Christmas and the Incarnation, Joe?
Well, I think that try this Christmas thinking about and praising God just how awesome the Incarnation really is.
Absolutely. Think about it. Talk about it more. So, guys, I want to encourage you this Christmas time. You might be traveling to see friends. You might be having a Zoom call with some cousins, perhaps. No matter what you do, don't make your Christmas about Santa, or don't make your Christmas about presents. But make your Christmas about the greatest miracle that ever happened, right?
That's right.
And tell a cousin, or tell a friend, or tell anybody that you know about this awesome truth that God became man in Jesus, right?
That's right.
We can sing about him too, sing awesome songs about him.
Well, not you though.
My singing's not very good, I know. You hurt my feelings sometimes,
I'm
Gerald.
sorry. I'll help you with that.
Okay, I'll teach me how to sing. So, the Incarnation, we have to remember that Jesus being born of a man is entirely for the cross. So Jesus wasn't, again, just born so he could be nice. He wasn't born as an example for us. He was born so he could die, and die on the cross in our place. And so sometimes Christians can make far bigger deal about Christmas than they do at Easter.
That's true.
But Christmas is only important because Easter's important.
Exactly.
Right? Christmas came so that Easter, even more amazing day, could come, right?
That's right.
Well, do we have a Bible verse for this awesome Christmas season?
Memorize John chapter 1 and verse 14. And the Word, meaning Jesus, became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen his glory, glory as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth.
Wonderful verse. Gerald, I just realized we're running late for a Christmas party. We got to get going.
Let's go!
All right, see you, kids.